talking about episode 25 of Love Island Australia. And be sure to like, subscribe, hit that notification bell so you know when I post new videos. Let's just get into it. So the episode starts with Nikki and Andy, and they're just chatting, and Nikki asks if it kind of goes in the direction where Nikki is hinting that they sleep on the daybed together. And Andy is saying, no, he doesn't want to be petty about it because he doesn't want to, he's taking Harmony's feelings into consideration. Obviously, Nikki is pissed. She's like, you already kissed me during the strip challenge, so I don't understand why you're considering Harmony's feelings now. But, and I get both sides. Andy, I feel like his own idea was, I put you through a lot, so this is like my, thank you for putting up with me kind of situation. But she's looking at it thinking, oh, he wants me back, right? So there was that whole thing going on. Tyra and Kale have deeper conversations. They seem to be really falling in love with each other, and they become exclusive. Like they both assumed that was what it was going to be, but they made it official, and both of them are exclusive. So the next morning, Andy does sleep in the bed with Harmony. She was expecting him to sleep on the day bed with Nikia, but he's not that kind of person, so he does sleep in the bed with her. I'm not really sure why Harmony is still thinking, oh, maybe there's a shot here. Like, girl, do you not know what you did? I'm not one to harp on something, but it's like, you did what you did. Just own it. You've wrecked you wrecked any chance of having anything with Andy. He's never going to look at you the same way. You did not have his back at all. And that is, if nothing else, that is the most important thing in a relationship. Anywho, the next morning, as Kale sets out a cute date for Tyra, he had mimosa, strawberries, and chocolates. Unfortunately, she doesn't like strawberries, but she loves chocolate. So, you know what? It was a nice thing for him to do for her. I think it was Zach who got the text, and it was hot flush. It was a game time. I'm only going to be making notes of the ones that really stood out for me, which was that Reed has had more than 5 threesomes. I mean, good on Reed. He's young. He's living his life. Well, obviously, Chloe was not impressed with that answer. Georgia's biggest turn on is dirty talk. I mean, if you all remember the toe licking situation, that would have been my first choice for her. And then Andy's body count is close to 40, which, okay, he's 27 years old. And has been traveling for a long time. He's also an athlete, so that's pretty tame, considering, I'm just saying. But yeah, the winners ended up being Andy and Harmony. None of them got drenched, which was ironic because they're not together. And Harmony is sitting in the confessional saying, oh, maybe you should take a hint, Andy, that we're meant to be together. And I'm like, girl, let it go. Let it go. It's not happening. Just let it the fuck go already. Andy is having a hard time in the house because he's still not made his decision yet. Like, he's talking to the guys. And I think it was Clint who was telling him or asking him, who do you feel the most comfortable with? Like, that should be the person that you pick. And he said, obviously, like, his choice would be, like, to go back to Nikia. However, he doesn't see things changing for them on the outside. So, even though he's attracted to Nikia, I don't know what it is, because I'm pretty sure in the beginning he would have been like, Nikia is my one and all and be all. But something about, I feel like it's the immaturity. I feel like that was his biggest turnoff. Now, I don't know. This is just hearsay. But I think that is what is really grating on him, because he likes her. He obviously likes this girl. He just doesn't see it working full time for them on the outside. I don't know what it is, man. So Nikia asks Nate. She drags Nate and has a conversation with Nate, and she asks him, what is Andy saying about the whole situation? And he tells her that, yes, obviously Andy is more attracted to you, but he still doesn't see things going well on the outside, and that makes her cry, which was kind of sad. Like, I didn't necessarily like how she handled the whole Kale situation, but I don't like to see people cry either. The only people who didn't bother me when they were crying were Trent and Zach. I didn't care. In fact, I was laughing, which that might be a thing for me and my therapist. But they were the only ones. Any other person, I don't really like it. So I didn't really enjoy seeing her cry. But it's like, girl, get the memo. If he still thinks it's not going to work on the outside, don't beg. You're a 10. Nakia is a 10. Honestly. She is. Her personality might need some work, but she's a 10. I like a girl who's confident. I don't like mean girls, but I'd rather you be confident than meek. You know, I'd rather you be the one throwing the punches than taking the punches. Like, do you get what I mean? And I don't mean that literally. I just mean like, I love that she stands tall. I like a confident girl. It's a very huge thing for me. So all this crying about a guy who doesn't necessarily see a future with you, dust it off. Dust it off. It's been 2 weeks. Dust it off and move on. Same thing goes for Harmony. Like, she's been moping around trying to get Annie to get Annie's attention. And it's like, dust it off, girl. You fucked up in that situation, but still move on. You're a 10. Find someone else and move on. Anyhow, Chloe still feels weird about the whole threesome thing, so she pulls Reed for a chat. He tells her that none of the threesomes were during a relationship. Do I believe Reed? That answer is a strong no, but it's not my business. Chloe's made her bed, and now she's sleeping in it. Nakia gets a text, everybody should gather to the fire pit, and it's time for the final recoupling, and it's boys' choice. I don't know why it was boys' choice, though. Honestly, I don't know why it was boys' choice. Also, the final recoupling, I wish they could do it that in a scenario where it's like, yes, you choose, but I also get to choose. So where if someone chooses somebody to recouple up with and the other person is not really interested, they can say no, but I choose this other person. I feel like that will spice things up a little bit. Anyways, it was boys' choice. Nate went first. Obviously, he chose Georgia. He was very happy. His picture is really cute. Clint chose Sav, and I like that for Sav. She definitely does seem like a different version of herself. She seems like herself now, and I really like her. You guys know that I'm a Sav stan. Like, I've liked this girl from the beginning, even with the inappropriate speech. Like, it was that one time, you know, it wasn't great, but it's her story, and her story is part of who she is right now. So I like Sav. Zach chose Lucinda. We don't care. Reed chose Chloe. Of course, who else was he gonna choose? Kel chose Tyra. And when they sat down, the smile that Nate had on his face, it was so adorable. It had nothing to do with anything, but it made me giggle. Look at that smile. Look at that smile. I mean, it made me giggle so hard. He's so adorable, Nate is. And then Andy came, Andy's time to choose, and he ended up choosing himself, which honestly was a man's thing to do. That's a man right there, because Trent had this exact same scenario and he chose to be selfish about it. Now in Trent's, I will say in Trent's situation, there was still an option of a bombshell coming in. So I get like 50-50. He did it for selfish reasons alone, but I still see like, okay, there was a potential for him to still find a love interest. And in Andy's situation, there's no potential anymore. There are no more bombshells coming in, it's one and done. But he didn't feel it wasn't fair to any of the girls, and I like that. And the girls might not have been happy about it, obviously. Nakia and how many were saying that, oh, we're not just good enough. It's like, no, he did you a favor. Rather than being with you and getting your hopes off for something that will never happen, he decided to cut himself loose, and I love that. He chose himself, and I love that for him. I think Andy's a man's man, and I respect the hell out of him for how he has handled the entire situation. Some of you think that he did Harmony dirty, but I think Harmony did herself dirty. The only person who should be complaining in this entire scenario is Nakia, but I also think that karma had something to play with this. So obviously, if you're single at the end of this recoupling, you can't stay in the house. So all three of them were eliminated. All three of them had to leave the house. There was that interaction between Harmony and Nakia, though, where Nakia was smiling 1 minute and all of a sudden she wasn't. I don't know what Harmony said. I went back multiple times, but I could not hear what Harmony said to Nakia. But my God, Nakia, look, I like her confidence, but the mean girl thing is not my favorite thing, but it is what it is. So all three were eliminated, and yeah, that's how the cookie crumbled. I felt like this would have been a scenario. It looked like that was what he was going for, because when he said he was off both of them, I felt like this was the only ending that we could get, to be honest. They do show us clips from the next episode, and it looks like there's going to be the baby challenge. I haven't seen that. I've never seen that in all the time that I have been watching Love Island, and I only started Love Island with Justine's season, the original US, and then the last season of the UK. So I haven't seen the baby challenge. I feel like it's an old one that they used to do before, and they also bring in a psychic, and I'm like, why are you tempting fate like that? That there's no way that's gonna end well for anybody. Right now, the couple to win, I feel, would be Tara and Kill. I guess you could say Lucinda and Zach could win because honestly, I do think that they love each other. I really do. If we're saying longest couple, I would say Zach and Lucinda, and I actually do think that Zach loves Lucinda. If I'm being honest, he's obviously even been a different person since Trent left. He's a chameleon. He blends himself to the environment that he is in, you know. And when he's with douchebags, he's a douchebag. So if it's based on that, I would say they would win. But I would be up for Tyra and Kill. I like Nate, but I don't really trust G, so I can't really, root for them. I will root for Nate, but I don't know about G. I think she's beautiful, but you guys know, like, I'm not really sold on her feelings for Nate. So my couple to win right now will be Tyra and Kill. I would also vote for Sava and Clint, but they're too new, right? So I can't really put my money on them. But yeah, we'll see what the next episode brings. I don't know that this week is going to be that exciting, people. If it is, you'll see me here with another review. But if it's not, I guess we'll all watch the finale together. But yeah, that's all I have to say. So I'll see you guys in the next one. Like and subscribe. Bye.